Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Zesty or Testy podcast. I'm your host, Testy McNasty. With me, as always, is Zesty Tito de la Pinga.
¿Qué pasó?
There you go. We always like to start the podcast off with a toast. Oh, look at these tequila sunrises.
You like
They're
that?
the most gorgeous tequila sunrises I've ever seen in my life. Better than the most highest quality bartender I've ever seen.
I am the most highest
That I've ever seen.
bartender that I've ever met.
All right. Today I like to quote the Temptations when I say war. Whew. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again now. Cheers.
Salud.
Salud. That is really good. Today I would like to talk about the Russian night witches.
What?
They're not witches though. We'll get to that though.
Like, are they really witches, or are we just using the term witches to...
Let's find out together,
All
shall
right.
we?
Talk to me. Take me through your story. Take me through your leaders.
June 22nd, 1941, Hitler launched Operation Barbarossa into the Russian territory. From that point before, Russia and Germany had a non-aggression pact, and they were the axis of evil. They were fighting the Allies all across the world. Hitler was kind of a crazy motherfucker. So he, randomly he decides, you know what? I'm already fighting several fronts all along the world. I'm going to attack my only ally. And he invades Russia. This naturally really pissed the Russian people off. And Russian citizens all over the country started volunteering to go to the army, including women. Women would show up trying to do their fair share of the fighting because they were that pissed off. But there was no women allowed in combat, so they turned them all away until a lady named...
The witches came.
Until the witches came. A lady named Marina Raskova was a highly connected woman. And she heard about all these women. She received letters from these women. And she decided she wanted an all-woman Air Force.
Holy cow, all right.
So, just like anywhere in the world, if you're highly connected, you can pretty much get whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
So she got 3 battalions of all-women Air Force.
Shit.
I guess I should show you the pictures. It doesn't matter. I'll edit the pictures in.
He's going to put them right here.
I'm going to put them right there. Actually, the program I'm using doesn't let me put them somewhere. I have to cut to the picture and then come back to us. But the audio stays the same.
That's good.
Yeah, the audio stays the same. So,
So you mean this is real? You're not making shit up?
I'm not making shit up. That is Marina Raskova.
She's hot.
No. She looks like a Russian woman from the 40s. So,
She looks mean, dude. You're right.
So they got the Air Force. Of course, the men are not going to let the women have the good planes.
Yeah.
They kept the good planes for themselves. We have to do the fighting.
Yeah.
You're just women. So the planes that the women got were fucking crop dusters.
Holy shit.
These were planes made out of wood frame and a canvas around it. This is what the plane looked like. It looked like a normal plane, but it was not designed for military use. It was designed for crop dusting the field.
Yeah.
These were called flying caskets because they were made out of wood and canvas. So when
Name says it all, huh?
when a bullet comes out of a gun, it comes out really hot.
Yeah.
So if a bullet hit one of those things, there was a significant chance that it would catch fire. So you would burn alive as you were falling to the ground, which is
Something was going to kill you.
Well,
Either you were going to burn.
or splat or get shot. So a pretty horrific death, not pleasant. Because these things were not built for combat, they did not have a lot of room to take stuff into the air. You could fit one skinny Russian woman and 1 bomb under each wing. So 2 bombs and 1 woman. It did not have enough lifting power to carry the parachute. The women were not allowed to have parachutes because if they put a parachute on, it couldn't get up off the ground.
Holy shit.
So,
Kudos to those ladies, man.
kudos to these ladies. They were
Balls.
pissed off. They were pissed off that Hitler had betrayed them. They were ready to kick some Nazi ass. So, historians look back and they go oh, this Marina Raskova woman was a really great technical fighter. And because of 2 reasons. Because number one, these women only flew at night.
Oh,
because it's pretty fucking easy to clip off an airplane as it's flying through the sky. You see a woman like coming through the sky, just pop.
Yeah.
But at night, it's hard to do that.
Yep.
And it turns out when you have a plane made out of wood and canvas, once you get it off the ground, you can cut the engine off, and that motherfucker will glide for miles. So the women would get up, and when they got close to German territory, they just cut the engine off and glide. So number one, it was night. They couldn't see them.
Couldn't hear them.
Number two, they turned off the energy so they couldn't hear them. Number three, the planes were so small and crappy, the radar could not pick them up. So...
it wasn't picking up wood and canvas flying over
wasn't
them?
picking up wood and canvas flying over them for some reason. So, they say, oh, she was such a great, tactician. Probably, yes. But probably a lot of this was self-preservation. Or probably a lot of this was people going, if we catch one bullet, we're all going to fucking die. Let's try to do this the safest way we can possibly do it. So, you said they couldn't hear him. That's not technically correct. When the women would fly overhead, all you could hear was a whoosh. And that was the only sound you would hear before boom, 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 all these bombs started going off. So, amazingly enough, planes built for crop dusting are not accurate at dropping bombs.
Yeah.
So, they probably didn't do a lot of damage technically. However, the psychological warfare was so fucking good that these Nazis couldn't sleep at night because every time they heard the wind howl, whoosh,
they thought it was women coming.
They thought it was the Russian night witches. They started calling them night witches because, they would hear nothing except a whoosh, and all of a sudden everybody would jump up and they'd start ducking under cover. Oh, fuck, the bombs are falling again. And it was just the wind. They'd be like, oh, we can go back to sleep. Oh, it's the wind again. Oh, this time it's for real, the night witches. So when they had to wake up the next morning to actually go fight the actual war, they were half asleep. They hadn't slept all night. There was stuff that they could do, but still,
that's pretty interesting.
It became fucking pretty psychologically.
Russian night witches.
The Russian night witches. This is what they looked like. It was just a bunch of women, 18 to early 20s, that had just volunteered to serve their company.
Wonder if they've ever made a movie of them.
That would make a great movie.
I think so.
Maybe Tessier Zesty should get into the Hollywood studios game.
I think we can. I mean, you got a good looking guys here,
Yeah, I know. You could be
us.
Joseph Stalin. No, women cannot fly.
Joseph Stalin?
Yes. Okay. I told you that story so I could tell you this story. What's old is new. Even though things change, nothing ever really changes. Because this is what this is what war looks like nowadays. So it's a man hiding from a drone. He's laying in the ditch while a drone flies overhead.
Crazy.
These are the great-grandchildren of the Russian night witches who have now invaded Ukraine. And this is what modern warfare looks like. Hold on, listen.
Yeah.
So,
that's crazy.
Just like the psychological warfare of whoosh,
the wind howling, yeah.
You now have the psychological warfare of a little fucking single-use drone buzzing around looking for you. Because these things are not meant to be used multiple times. They're loaded with thermite, they send them out, and they fly into you and explode. So, the psychological warfare of hearing the buzzing, can you imagine laying in a fucking ditch and there's just like a mosquito sound buzzing around? And if it sees you, you're about to die? If these motherfuckers survive and they go to a parade and some asshole's filming the parade with a drone, they're probably jumping under shit like that too.
PTSD kicks in.
The cheapness is there. You remember the planes were wood and canvas? These drones are they're dirt cheap, American-made, manufactured, just boom, 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 just turning out drone because they got a fucking crate. And so there is high technology. There is a giant drone up in the atmosphere looking down for thermal imaging.
Yeah.
And when they see a two-legged heat spot, they're like, okay, go send the smaller drones there. Yeah. And then some Ukrainian soldier puts on the goggles, takes the drone out of the crate, pairs it with the joystick, and then sends it out looking after the heat signature. And so then...
it's crazy how technology has changed us. I mean, not only just at a personal level, right, social level, but I mean, like you said, warfare now.
Yeah. So that's why they're ducking under cover, because you have to block your image from the thermal imaging drone up in the atmosphere.
Huh.
So it's the same thing. The Germans would hear the whoosh,
And over here,
and they would duck down under here. The Russians, the great-grandchildren of the Russian night witches, hear the bzzz, and they're getting under something.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to avoid the
drone.
the drone in the sky. It's fucking crazy.
It is, man. Wow.
So we were talking about how the Russians will wake up, the Germans will wake up and they hadn't slept all night and they had to go fight.
Yeah.
There was shit that they could take to wake
Keep
them
them
back up again.
Caffeine?
In fact, Hitler's doctor Theodore Morell would prescribe him high doses of Pervitin. Pervitin is a prescription amphetamine. And fucking apparently the Nazi army was just loaded with amphetamines. These fuckers would pop amphetamines. So even though they hadn't slept all night, they'd wake up, pop a few amphetamines, and go fight. It doesn't make you like a good soldier, I don't think.
Just keeps you awake.
It just keeps you awake. Here's the side effects of Pervitin: irritability, aggressive behavior, agitation, anxiety, confusion, emotional liability.
Well, the first four is what you want out of your soldiers.
That's true. Okay. Aggressive behavior, agitation, but anxiety and confusion, you don't really want that. I like to say what's old is new, what's history is cyclic. No matter how much things change.
Fast forward to nowadays, what is it?
Fast forward to nowadays, our fucking, I know biology, and I know that men and women are biologically different. And we put these little boys in the school system, and girls are okay with sitting down and listening to a boring lecture, but boys really need to get up and move around and do shit while they're learning, or else there comes across as behavior problems. You and me, we're sitting here doing a podcast. We're drinking, we're smoking. We're not just sitting here.
Yeah.
You know, we've got stuff going on. Yeah.
We're talking, smoking, and drinking.
You know, when my friends come over, we play poker. We don't just sit there and hang out and talk. We got something going on. Back in the day, like some dude was fixing a car. All the neighbors would come over and they just hang out while they were fixing a car, because men need to do something while they're talking, while they're learning. And instead of addressing that with boys, let's just give them Ritalin. Let's just give them Concerta. Let's just make them sit down and behave and concentrate. Because Ritalin is also an amphetamine, just like the Pervitin that the Nazi uses during the World War II. And guess what the side effects of Ritalin is?
I'm going to say aggressiveness.
Irritability, aggressive behavior, agitation, anxiety, confusion, depression, and emotional liability.
It's just a name change.
It's just a name change. So congratulations. If you got your kid on Ritalin, you're giving your kids Nazi drugs. Parent of the year over here. Parent of the year.
Or you're making your kid a soldier.
You're making your kid a soldier.
Yeah. Oh,
Hey,
you got that one right, man.
All right.
Last time you kept throwing them down.
All right. Well, cheers. That's
Well,
all I had
salute.
That's all I had prepared. But I was
We'll talk to
excited
you guys
go
later.
through.
Just
Bye.
kidding. Don't go anywhere. By the way, first and foremost, congratulations once again.
We got 8th place. It wasn't like a good placing.
Dude, there's like, what, 100 bands that compete? 100 bands compete. Your kid's band made it into the top 15 and then 8. And while you, unlike me, your child is a lot more competitive than mine, and I know that always irks her. I mean, it's still, you know, you go up against the best, and I know it's 8th place, but when you consider how many bands compete in this thing, dude, that's pretty impressive. So
Thank you.
Kudos to
Salute.
that, man.
Thank
Salute,
you.
yeah.
She was telling me that like not only is she a little band kid, she's like a band nerd. So like the band that was, I think they made #1 this year, they're like, oh, they stopped by and talked to us. We tried each other's helmets on and took pictures, and she was showing me pictures. Like, so like not only is she like obsessed with playing bands, she's like, oh, that's the good people. She thinks of them as celebrities. That's like
Well, I mean, you know, you're up there, and you know, there's other bands across the U.S., right? But in your world, the one that you're in over the weekend, those 100+ bands, or about 100 bands. I don't know how many bands there are, right? I say 100, could be a little less, but my point is, if you consider how many bands perform all day Friday, all day Saturday, and you come in top 8, while it's not where your kid wants to be, because I know she's got a competitive nature, right? It's impressive, and then you can't help but go up to the top band and say, "Damn, good job, man!" And then you know, you start interacting, and it's interesting, because this is what I was sharing with my wife. I said, all these kids, even though they're from other cities, other towns, other places, whether it's Texas, because there was a couple of bands. I think one band competing here was from Mexico, New Mexico. There was another one from,
Nice.
I want to say Mississippi, or I can't remember where they were.
Yeah.
But it was bands from out of state that came to compete at this Bands of America.
Yeah.
And you leave, and while you don't leave a winner as, number one, you leave with good friendships, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Because just like you said, that band that won is not from here.
Yeah.
It's not from San Antonio or surrounding areas. But, you have kids like your daughter that go and meet other kids. And, who knows? Like you said, fast forward years, right? And they might end up bumping into one of these kids in college one
Yeah,
day,
and suddenly they're playing in the same band.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, we always talk about our kids in the band, but Bantover's over.
Hooray!
Yeah, this is the exciting moment of our lives. You were asking earlier today. So for those of you who are not familiar with what we're talking about, it's a competition, final competition, or one of the final competitions called Bands of America. They have different Bands of America competitions across the U.S. and they compete one day, or either Friday or Saturday. All the bands compete, and that's considered preliminaries or the prelims.
Yes.
And then the judges give a rating and a ranking, and the top 15 bands out of the 80 some odd bands, 100 bands that perform, get to perform a second time. And so all these kids, they perform on Friday and Saturday, and then they still have to be on call because you just don't know if your band is going to be one of the ones to make.
And that was what was
top
annoying.
15. And as much as I love helping out, it's like that bittersweet.
Yeah.
It's like I want my kid to make it, but I also
don't want to push a speaker up a
Yeah,
ramp.
exactly. And so when we didn't make it, my kid comes up and she's like, "Dad, we got this place." I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Mama." I'm like, "I'm so sorry. Go somewhere else and cry so I can drink a beer." So anyway, but yeah, kudos to these kids because, like you said, it's like a whole day of just doing nothing, waiting to see, am I going to perform again? And your kid was one of the ones that got to perform again. Yeah. So, anyway, fantastic.
She's a great kid.
A lot of hard work, but they deserve a big round of applause.
Yay!
So, anyway, so what else is going on? Yeah, a round of applause, man.
What else is going on? I'm wearing my lung T-shirt to commemorate the day that I almost died. It's coming up on the anniversary. I was 4 minutes from death, Christmas Eve last year. And I've been thinking about it a lot lately. Holy shit, it's almost been a year since I almost died. And I can't get over, it's going to be on Christmas Eve. And then my kids are going to hate Christmas every fucking year because it's the year that Dad died. I mean, it's the anniversary of Dad's death. So I'm very thankful I didn't die, obviously. But
I'm not laughing at your near-death experience.
No, it's
I'm
okay.
laughing
It's
at
funny.
the fact that my wife comes up to me and she goes, "Did you know what happened to him?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "You hadn't said anything." I'm like,
We talked about it on the podcast."
Everybody knows about it except you. And so she's like, "Oh, man, you hadn't told me what happened to him." I said, "Yeah." I said, and he gave me shit about it. Sometime later, I said, because I told him, I said, I can't smoke because, I don't know, because I think I had a cold. And he's like, "Hey, motherfucker,
I almost died.
Like last
smoking,
week
bitch.
or 2 weeks ago. And here I am smoking a cigar." And they're like, "Dude, why the fuck are you smoking cigars?" And of course, your answer was, "Well, I don't want my wife to find out," which is okay because your wife, like my wife, they don't watch us.
Yeah.
So we were safe, yeah. But yeah, she had no clue that it happened to you. So let's try not to do it again this year, man. Okay,
I'm going to try to get a hotel when I go visit my parents. That way I'm not sleeping in their house because, they still keep claiming, go ahead. They keep claiming they're like, "Oh, there's nothing in our house to make you allergic." Well, then why the fuck did I almost die?
Did you ever test that shit? Because you bought some kind of kit?
My dad bought some kind of kit. He tested the whole house. He said the kit didn't come up with nothing. But, I mean, it's just some shit he got off Amazon. Who knows if it, works or what we're even testing for. I don't even know what it was. But I wasn't taking my maintenance medication, and now I am. I take my maintenance medication religiously.
Yeah, because initially we thought maybe mold spores, right?
Yeah. Well, because it was only inside my parents' house. If I stepped outside, I was fine. But if I was inside my parents' house, I could feel my chest clamping up. These lungs weren't filling up with air anymore.
You know what? And Dude, your wife is a brave soul, because, dude, I would panic in a situation like that. And I remember you shared the story, and it's like, what, December 24th or 25th,
Yeah,
right?
it's the 24th. It's the day
24th.
before.
It's
yeah.
at night. I mean, what's open at that point? And then
Praise the Lord.
You're not even in town to where you can say, well, I know there's a emergency clinic or night clinic or something around here, or even a hospital, right?
Yeah.
And I remember you mentioning you just kind of got in the car and let's hope we find one soon.
Well,
and you went to one, and I think that it wasn't there anymore or something.
So here, let's tell the story again.
Scary. Dude.
My lungs closed up. I was having an asthma attack. I'm a bad patient. I don't take my maintenance meds. I was fighting through it.
Like cigars.
And the cigars. And my wife kept telling me, "You want to go somewhere? You want to go somewhere?" And I kept saying, like, "No, I'll just fucking fight through it. It's fine. It's not going to be a big deal."
Yeah.
And then when I finally felt like I took my last exhalation and I tried to breathe back in, it wouldn't. It just. That's all I could do. I couldn't take a breath in. So I get up and I look at her, and I don't even have to say anything. She just gets up and goes, "Okay, let's go." So we get in the car. She rolls. I roll her window down. And I'm sticking my head out like a fucking dog, like trying to catch a breath. She Googles a hospital, and it wants to take her all the way downtown. And I fucking snatch the phone, and I'm sitting there because I know there's one of those emergency clinics close by, and so then there's one that's super close, and it used to be a Blockbuster, and now it's an emergency clinic. And so we pull in, and like all the lights were off, and I'm like, fuck. And she goes, "I'll get out and check." And she runs up to the door and opens the door, and she looks at me. So I get out and I walk in, and
it's a bar. You're like, fuck it,
we
let's
take
have
a
drink.
few shots and then go to the next place. No, my wife says that I can't breathe, and they take me immediately to the back. They take my shirt off. They start putting steroids in my arm, epinephrine in my arm, albuterol. My wife said that he turned the oxygen to 100%, which you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to keep it like, I don't know what the normal oxygen saturation is, but he did it.
I know it's not supposed to be 100.
It's not supposed to be 100. And all the medicine started kicking in. I started breathing normally. And he said, with me and my wife in the room, he goes, he was 4 minutes from death. And she goes, I was trying to take him to Christus Santa Rosa downtown. Not Christus Santa. It's called something else in Corpus. But I was trying to take him to this hospital, and it was like 28 minutes away. And he said, no, he would have died on the drive. So I am very thankful to that doctor. I used to know his name. He used to be on the prescription. I've forgotten his name. But praise God that there was a man there working Christmas Eve. Because I know I would have been pissed off working Christmas Eve. Yeah. But he was there working Christmas Eve to save my life, to inject me with steroids and epinephrine. And the anniversary of that day is coming up. And I'll be in town, so hopefully I'll buy him a pack of cigars or something, and
that'd be cool, dude.
Buy him like a whiskey bottle or something and drop it off and say, "Hey, is this doctor here? Hey, you saved my life last year."
Wouldn't it be something, dude, if you show up and they're like, "There's no doctor by that name."
Allah! This is a Walgreens now.
Yeah, it's been a Walgreens for the last 2 years.
This is a Spirit Halloween.
Yeah. Well, the spirit stayed here.
Yeah, that would be creepy.
Dude, that would be awesome.
That would be a better movie than the Night Witches.
Yeah. It's like, what? What do you mean? I was here a year ago. They're like, no, sir.
Speaking of Spirit Halloween, did you know that they have a Spirit Christmas store, but they're only fucking opening it like on the East Coast? They're not here on this side. Because I watch a lot of TikTok, and I was scrolling through, and they're like, first year ever Spirit Christmas, and it's just like a Spirit Halloween. They pop up in like these abandoned stores, everything Christmas. And I'm like, fuck yeah, Google, where's my local Spirit Christmas? Like, not available in Texas. And I'm like, where is it? It's like New York.
It's like drive 18 hours to
to New Jersey.
Like, the closest one is only 18 hours away. Let's go, road trip.
Well, we don't ever buy anything in there anyway. We just walk around and like press on the little animatronics.
That's us. Yeah.
But I'm excited. Like, maybe in a couple of years it'll launch nationwide. I was just impressed that they have.
A couple of years, dude. I want to hear next year.
Oh, I want to hear it this year. Damn it.
Yeah, but I mean,
we don't always get what
you know me, dude. Hey, by the way, did you get a hold of that Christmas light guy?
Fucking asshole ghosted me. He fucking.
Me too.
Oh.
And here's the sad part that he told me, once you're a customer forever.
He's a lying ass motherfucker.
Yeah, he is, dude. Because and then. In September, I texted this motherfucker and I asked him, I said, yeah, you still doing lights? And he said, yeah, absolutely. And he goes, send me a date and your address so I can put you down on the books. I said, all right. So it was supposed to be this past Thursday. Well, then Thursday I didn't hear, or Wednesday I texted him and I said, hey, I just want to make sure we're still on for Thursday. And he said, yeah, just, I'm sorry, but send me your address again. I said, yeah, okay. Thursday came around and he didn't show up. And I was like, okay, maybe because, we were expecting thunderstorms.
Yeah.
But of course, we got, thunder drizzle. And then Friday, same thing, and nothing. And so yesterday, I figured, let me reach out to him because it was a beautiful day like today, and nothing. And today, nothing. And my wife tried reaching out to him and nothing. So I'm like, I hope the guy's okay, but it's just, pisses me off with these.
Pisses me off too, because I asked you for his number, you sent me the number. I asked him to put me on the books. He said this weekend. He didn't give me a specific day. He said this weekend.
Yeah.
And then, as the weekend approached, I'm like, what day specifically? And he said, I'll be there Saturday. And so then Saturday came and went, and I texted him at 1:30 on Saturday. Am I still on the schedule?
Yeah.
And I texted him this morning, what happened? And nothing, no response.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Also. So that's why I said I hope he's okay. But if he's okay and not returning our phone calls, fuck you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hopefully he's not dead. Hopefully he didn't go to a Blockbuster clinic and the Blockbuster had taken back over.
Or hopefully it was a Blockbuster. There was no doctor there. How about that, Richard? So anyway.
But yeah, I don't hang my Christmas lights anymore because I fell off the ladder a couple years ago and I'm afraid to get back up on the ladder.
I don't do it because, the ladder usually says weight limit, and I exceed that weight limit. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to pass. Somehow aluminum just doesn't hold me.
You need that stainless steel.
It says Reynolds wrap on the side. Dude, speaking of Reynolds, so yesterday, guess what I did? Because it was a gorgeous day.
Yes.
I smoked some ribs.
Some Reynolds?
Well, I was talking about Reynolds because I wrapped them. I remember I had wrapped my ribs afterwards, but I smoked some
ribs.
Pork ribs. Yeah.
You smoked some ribs. Okay.
So I was very excited because I had, this whole summer I didn't smoke at all.
Yeah.
And so it was. So I remember we were just talking about band, and we had all this stuff going on every weekend with either football games or band competitions. And then all of a sudden I looked at my calendar, and my kid has a competition on Friday, but nothing on Saturday. So I told my wife, I said, hey, buy some ribs. Let me smoke.
Yeah.
And so I did that. I was having a conversation with some parents, and they were talking about how their calendar is so full all the time. And they said, but somehow, once we hit around November, our calendar kind of just dies down a little bit. Yeah. So I went back and looked at my calendar. It's like my calendar was pretty free, and then mid-July hits.
Yeah,
and it's busy, and that's when they start summer band, right? Yeah. And then August, September, October, and then all of a sudden I hit I think it was November 11th or November 12th or something. After that, it just kind of dies down. Yeah. And coincidentally, that's the end of band season. Right? Yeah. Or marching band season, I guess. But anyway.
Does symphony still go? You still got kids in symphony, right?
Yeah, at the orchestra. So that still goes on, but at least that's only once a week, But then we still have soccer, and now my kid gets to focus on tennis.
Plus, there'll be Christmas performances and shit like that.
Yeah. So they've got the Christmas performance for school, and then an orchestra, and then you've got the winter concert in January or February, I don't know.
I know one day my kid's got a string performance, and then we got to pick her up from that, take her to the Riverwalk because they rented the little boats, and all the kids are going to sing Christmas carols as they float down the river. They did it last year. It was a lot of fun, and they're doing it again this year.
Do they do it during that that big parade?
No. They're not part of the parade. It's they just rent 3 riverboats and load it with elementary school kids, and they're just singing, being obnoxious. How kids sing not Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer at the top of their.
Speaking of that, yesterday I was watching. I don't know what I was watching, and I was asking my wife. I said, "How come every time kids sing, it sounds so cute, and they sound like they're always in tune, but somehow when you get older and you have a bunch of adults who sound like shit." Maybe because we're willing to tolerate, exactly, little ones, and when it's adults, it's like, get off the stage, motherfucker. You sound like shit.
I mean, when
my
kids
farts sound better than you.
When the kids are singing, they've got that. the cute little child voice. So it doesn't matter what they sound like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what else is going on, man?
What are you doing this Friday?
This Friday. I reckon I got nothing. Is that the fight?
This Friday is Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul.
Oh, dude.
So are we really having it at your house, or are you
So
still?
I already said yes.
Okay, but you
My
said
wife
yes.
hasn't said it
There
yet,
you go.
but
There you go.
but no, I think
There you go.
I don't think that we have anything going on Friday, man.
Okay. Well, you just might get a special Zesty or Testy live, our first
Special
live
edition.
special on YouTube, and we'll have the camera in the background showing the fight, and me and him like
Talking
on
shit,
the side talking shit like, "Oh, he just got knocked the fuck out."
talking shit about Mr. What's his name?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Hopefully.
Because I would never talk shit about Mike Tyson. I still insist on that. I don't care how old Iron Mike is. The fact that his first name is Iron Mike,
Yeah.
that's enough for me to say, no, fuck that. So,
Well,
I
even
look-
that last fight against Jones, he still looked pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's, what is he, 60? Is that how old is he? 50?
60, 66. No, I thought he was in his 60s, man.
Yeah, I think he's 60.
I mean, and it might be 60 or 61. Who knows? I mean, the guy could be 70. He still looks
Yeah, he
awesome,
still
you know?
looks crazy. Those
Yeah.
training videos where he's like rocking the fucking
Yeah, dude.
punching bag and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so the answer is, as of right now, I'm going to go with yes, more than likely.
Okay.
I don't see why not.
You'll find out if
So if you tune in,
whatever, I don't know how it notifies you that one of your subscribers is going live, somebody you're subscribed to is going live, but
that I don't know. But I know that if they're following us,
they should get a notification.
they should get a notification.
Just when it's fight time, just check out the YouTube channel and
so
click on
don't
us.
go and order Netflix, or don't go and get yourself Netflix. Just come on to our page, right?
Yeah.
Just watch it with us.
Just watch it with us.
Join us. Have fun.
Yeah.
We will. Have a
Yeah.
drink with us.
We'll be drunk.
Yeah, we'll be drunk talking about the fight.
We won't be smoking cigars though, because I don't want to piss off your wife.
I mean, we can bring a TV out here.
Can you bring the TV out here,
Why not?
bro?
We could.
Bro.
Yeah, that'd be
fucking
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll put
Well,
the TV here, sit over there.
Yeah.
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 I think we could.
Okay.
I think we're onto something.
All right, sir.
I
Well,
just got to figure out.
the logistics,
The logistics.
running the cable through the window.
Well, no, you don't even need cable because everything's.
Oh, it's on the
Wi-Fi.
Fire Stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just
Okay.
plug the Fire Stick.
Or you got the smart TV.
Yeah.
You don't know what it
I've
is.
got a smart TV with a dumb owner.
You,
So
you press the button, it comes on. You're like, that's how it works.
that's smart enough. But I do. I'm just thinking that we could do that. I mean, I've got an extra TV, so
Yeah.
we could just bring it out here.
I like to watch it out here. That way we can smoke a cigar and drink
Yeah.
and talk
dude.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like it too.
We could do it in the middle of the yard.
Fuck it, we can do it anywhere you want.
Yeah. I like that. So guess what, honey? I don't care what you have to say.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
She doesn't watch this anyway.
That's why I'm being brave, dude. Because I know she's not gonna watch it. Watch. This is the one episode she's actually gonna watch.
Like all our friends are gonna be like, you know what Johnny said? He said he's not scared of you.
Yeah. He said, go to minute 32, and he talks so much about your shit.
Okay, so
And I'll just tell my wife, I was drinking. It was the alcohol.
it was a tequila sunrise.
Yes. It wasn't me. I was just like, it's AI. We'll
You
blame
know
it
we
on
don't
it.
actually do this podcast. We just have a little AI counterpart sitting
Yeah,
here.
it's not even us. In fact, we're not even talking right now. It's like,
Let's watch Mike Tyson.
like that, the robot?
Yes. Oh, my wife's coworker had a birthday party at
Dude! Go ahead.
Be Kind Rewind. Have you ever been there?
Where's that?
It's downtown. It's made up to be an 80s bar. So you walk in, everything's fucking neon. When you first walk in, this shelf right here is nothing but VHS tapes. You over here on the left, they have like Pac-Man and fucking Galaga and shit. I wanted to play. I had a fucking quarter, but like I never got to play. We went and sat in the booths, and then we danced. We danced for like hours. They just played nothing but 80s music. Fucking
that's awesome.
NXS, fucking
80s.
80s music, like, and so we danced, and And there was like an older crowd like us, and then like half of it was young ass kids, thinking that they're into 80s music. They're singing along to the lyrics. I'm like, motherfucker, you don't know this song. How the fuck do you know this song?
Well, so let me ask you. We talked about the concert. Did we talk about the concert after?
We talked about Billy Joel, yeah.
And that
Sting.
was one of those things that caught my attention.
Oh,
That's
the young
it.
girls in the
fact-
front row.
Well, just the young crowd, you know, that was there to see this 2 70-year-old guys, you know.
Yeah.
That was pretty impressive that they can still pull that type of a crowd, that young of a crowd, right? But so where's this place at? You said downtown?
It's downtown. You go down, you just put.
And it's called Be Kind Rewind?
It's called Be Kind Rewind.
Huh. That's pretty neat, man.
There was a wall of boom boxes,
Yeah.
just like as decoration. There was a payphone. There was, and it had like a smaller bar in the back playing 80s rap, but we stayed in the like 80s pop area. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
That's cool. What I was going to say right now when you were talking about, so this was your wife's coworker?
Yeah.
I saw a picture of your wife's coworkers dressed up for Halloween.
Oh, what?
That was
My
awesome.
wife was dressed up as the Wicked Witch.
Yes, but everybody else was like a Disney person or...
Yes, my wife was the evil queen, and one of her friends was Snow White, and they were posed together, like holding an apple like that. And my wife sent me this video where like somebody's dressed as a mirror, and they got like a big, like the windshield screen that you put in your car, and like she just cut a hole in the face and stuck her face there.
That's really
And my
neat.
wife is like, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of the wall? And her coworker with the mirrored outfit goes, it's Snow White. And my wife goes, bitch, and then walks off like that.
Dude, that was hilarious. Dude, I saw that picture and I thought, oh man, that's pretty awesome. But
Yeah.
you know what? I expect it from your wife.
They have fun.
Is
They
that
have
her
fun.
favorite holiday?
I don't think so. Probably Christmas. Probably Christmas.
That seemed like it could have been her favorite holiday right there.
I mean, it's just fun to dress up like an idiot.
I didn't dress up this year.
I was a cowboy this year.
Were you?
Yeah.
Cowboy fan?
No.
Like a football?
No, like cowboy.
So you were
cowboy.
crying the whole time?
Yes, I was like, we can't win a Super Bowl. We can't even make it to the
We
playoffs.
can't get a win.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that would be funny, man. Dressed up as a baby crying, and they're like, "What are you?" A baby
Cowboys
crying.
fan.
They're like, "Cowboys fan."
Yeah, exactly.
You freaking cry, baby. Anyway, no, dude, I didn't dress up this year.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Because you didn't have anything. Because you were busy with Bantober. We were supposed to have the.
You know, I think that's what it was. I got home late.
We were supposed to have the reunion of several years ago when we dressed up as Inside Out characters.
That's right.
And this year we're all going to revise it, but I would be the new guy with the hoodie and the big nose this year. But we didn't do it because you weren't going to throw a party, so we didn't do it.
You're right. Yeah, and then this was actually the first year I think I may have told you that our kids didn't spend Halloween here.
They went to a friend's house and
Yeah, there was some band stuff going on. That's what it was.
yeah.
There was band stuff going on, and so after the band stuff, they came over here, some of our friends, and my daughter's like, okay, well, I'm taking off with my friends. I'm like, bye.
They're
Anyway.
teenagers now. They don't give a
Yeah.
fuck about us anymore.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm okay with that. At least I want to believe that I am. Until they start asking for money, then they bring me back to a reality that's like, oh, you still have kids?
Yeah,
Dumbass.
exactly.
Yeah.
So this Friday, 80% chance we'll be here in the backyard doing a live broadcast of the
Yep.
Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah, I think so, man.
What about this Sunday? What are you doing this Sunday? Can you commit yet or not really? The reason I'm asking is this. Did you ever watch the Tiger King documentary on Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay, so that motherfucker's in jail. That motherfucker, I guess he still has a phone because he's got an Instagram account. And he threw up on his Instagram account that he's now booking for podcasts. So I direct messaged him and said, hey, I have a podcast. We record on Zencaster. We record every Sunday at 3 p.m. This was just me and my buddy. We're just hanging out, drinking and smoking and talking shit. And so he replies back, want a book? And I'm like, yes, it would be a great honor to have you as a guest. We would love to talk to you. This would be fun. And he goes, donate $100 to my PayPal account and then take a picture of that and post it here and then we'll talk about a date. And then, yeah, exactly.
No shit.
And
Just like that.
yeah, just like that. And so then I'm like, okay. And then but then I wanted to talk to you and make sure that we had it ready or you were available. And so I didn't reply to him. And then the next day he posts, well,
Oh shit.
so fucking, and I've seen him do podcasts from prisons before, and I don't think he'll do a full hour. And he wouldn't even I kept talking to him like, are you able to download Zencastr? Or he didn't answer any of my questions I asked him. He was just like, pay the money and send me a picture of you paying the money. So, but I've seen him on other podcasts, and he just talks for like 20 minutes and then gets off. So, I mean, even if we could get him for 20 minutes, that'd be interesting.
What did you talk about?
I don't know what we would ask him. I know what the toast is going to be. Fuck that bitch, Carol Baskin. That's the fucking toast. But other than that, I don't know what to say to this motherfucker. Only tigers.
How do you feel about, there you go, tigers. How do you feel about tigers?
So, that show came out during the pandemic, and Oklahoma did not comply with any of the lockdown shit. So after that's where the Tiger King was based out of,
Yep.
Southern Oklahoma. After the documentary got famous, Jeff Lowe bought the park, or he became in charge of the park somehow.
Yep.
After Tiger King went to jail, Joe Exotic, and as soon as it opened, I'm like, we're going. So my family actually went to the Tiger King Park in Oklahoma after it got famous. We were literally the only one wearing masks in the entire park. But we.
So did you meet him?
No, he's in jail.
At the time when you actually went, he was already.
It was already after the
okay,
Netflix.
got it,
I didn't know that place existed until after the documentary. Mm-hmm. So he was already in jail by that point. But Jeff Lowe was there and his wife, and we got to see them from a distance because their house is next to the park. Mm-hmm. The guy that that supposedly Joe Exotic paid to kill Carol Baskin, which is the reason why he's in jail, even though if you watch the documentary, it's kind of nebulous whether he was actually serious or not.
Yeah.
But the guy, the assassin that was supposed to kill Carol Baskin but turned state's witness, he yelled at my wife for parking in the wrong place because we parked right up front, and he jumped out. You can't park here. Move your car over there. My wife gets back in the car. Okay, let's go. And I'm like, that's the dude that was supposed to kill Carol Baskin. He just yelled at you.
He could have killed you.
He could have killed you, honey. And then the long-haired blonde guy, I think his name's Lanky or something. He's dead now, but he was there at the time. My wife got a picture with him. I actually got to see.
So you said my family. You weren't there?
Me and my wife and my kids.
Oh, because you said my family. That's what I'm like.
Yeah, my family went without me. I'm
that's
gonna stay home.
I was like, dude, you
I'm gonna stay home, take a bath.
You're like, just in case, I'm gonna stay back. You know.
In case you get. But that lanky guy with the long hair, he was in there with some of the smaller tigers, and he was training somebody.
I remember that guy.
And they were throwing raw meat through the chute, and one of the raw meats got stuck, and the trainee reached his arm in there just as one of the tigers was going in there, and Lanky grabbed the tiger by the scruff and threw him down, and he gets in the guy's face and you don't ever stick your arm in there. You could have lost your arm. What the fuck is wrong with you? And we have that on film, or my wife has that on film, him cussing at the dude. So yeah, it was a good time.
Huh.
So I don't know what we could talk about with the Tiger King. I could tell him about my experience at the park that he didn't get paid for because he was already in jail and it belonged to Jeff Lowe at the time.
You're like, I'm going to send you an extra $10 dude.
For the tickets. But
when's he getting out? Do we know?
I don't know when he's getting out.
I guess that's one of the questions.
But I didn't
when are you going to get out?
I didn't think you could have a cell phone in jail. But I mean, I've seen him do podcasts with other people. White collar crimes. Just he supposedly he got convicted of hiring somebody for murder. That's not a white collar crime.
Yesterday I was watching some show and I can't remember what it was, but one of the ladies on the show makes a comment. She goes, "When you're rich and famous, you're not going to get convicted. Yeah, you're not going to get convicted. And if you do, guess what? You're going to be okay."
And one of those low security prisons.
Yeah, exactly. It's their low security is probably better than the way we live.
Yeah, they get 3 meals a day and rec time in the yard.
Yeah.
Play a little mini golf.
Yeah, it's oh, hey, bocce ball.
It's like
it's bocce ball time, guys.
Summer camp for adults.
Exactly. Yeah. What do you... Camp Kikiwaka for adults. Yeah.
So, what are you doing this Sunday?
So, dude, if we can get, what's his name?
Joe Exotic?
Joe Exotic. Shit, I'll make some time. I want to meet Joe Exotic. Mm-hmm. I want to see how exotic this mother
All right,
No, I'm just kidding.
I'll donate to his PayPal and take a picture and see what happens.
Dude, that's
Hopefully,
pretty-
it's not like ordering something from China off of Facebook that never shows up. I'd send him $100 and then he's like, "Thanks, buddy," and then he never comes on the podcast. But we'll find out.
What's that? Oh, what's that other?
Temu,
Temu or Wish?
Wish.com.
Yeah, Wish.com. It's like, hey, he'll be back to you in 2026 to let you know when he'll be back to you in 2026 to let you know when in 2028 you'll be able to book with him.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we'll find out. I'll take the risk. I'll throw out the $100. We'll see what
Joe
happens.
Exotic.
Maybe this Sunday we'll have Joe Exotic. We'll have to think of questions to ask him.
Yeah.
He may not be on for the whole hour, but
Who's your favorite tiger, Joe?
But let's think of some questions. So this Friday we got the Mike Tyson fight.
And
This Sunday maybe we got the Tiger King interview.
Joe Exotic.
Joe
dude.
Exotic.
How
Yeah, that's
cool would
crazy.
that
That
be,
would
dude?
be nice. That'd be
Yeah.
a nice bump for the podcast. That'd be some good content.
Yeah, no kidding. Huh.
Do you want to pause for the cause?
I do because mi glass está empty.
I'll have to chug this one down.
So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're not even gonna know we're gone. Oh, see ya.
He's not gonna make that same joke. He never makes that joke.
This one?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we have some fresh tequila sunrises, and it's another historic event. Zesty, for the first time since this podcast has started, has not stuck his head into the camera as he paused for the cause. So it's just a year of firsts for all of us.
But every time I do this, I think it's the holiday season.
Yeah.
It's time for elk dick.
Hey!
So what do we need?
Our-
We need
don't even
rye
remember.
whiskey.
Okay.
What is it that we said? Rye whiskey, lime.
It was that grape thing that you made, and then we just add a candy cane and call it elf dick.
But I thought wasn't it ginger ale, rye whiskey?
No, that's a whiskey ginger. That's a whiskey ginger.
What was the other one then? Oh,
The
the
elf
other one
dick was-
it was cranberry, vodka,
Uh-huh.
and something else, right?
You had a recipe for something called a grape something. And we stuck, and you made it during the holidays because you were feeling fancy, and we stuck a candy cane in it, and like we're now calling this elf dick, and like so that's our annual
I
Christmas.
can't remember what the fuck. Well, maybe I'll go back to the podcast.
We'll have to go back to the old one. But
and see if I can find out what I put in it. But it was really good, man.
yeah, it was you called it a grape something. It's a different drink.
Oh, because it was grape juice, cranberry juice, vodka, something else, and the candy cane.
You have the recipe for it. It's a grape surprise or a
Yeah, no.
grape delight or some shit. It's something with the word grape in it. And
Yeah.
all we did was stick a candy cane in it. It's like it's now
And
a new
you said
recipe.
it tastes like elf dick.
Yeah.
Which, again, look, I'm gonna go back to what I said a year ago.
Sometimes you gotta be a little fancy to get what you want at Christmas time. Okay.
Yeah, I've never tried elf dick, but Testy has.
Now we drink it every year.
And so now we're gonna have elf dick again. This
We
is
have so many traditions on this podcast.
This is. Have you noticed how relaxed we are? I was just telling Tessie a while ago. We went inside. You guys didn't see this, but we went in and got a refill on our drinks because we're still not at that level where we can just have somebody from our staff go get us a drink.
I know, right?
Because we are the staff.
One of these days.
Yeah, one of these days we're gonna get there. But so since we are the staff, we went and got our own drinks. And when I was inside, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna make this drink a little light because this is the first time in our 1.5 years doing the podcast that I was like, I think
Little
I'm
tipsy.
feeling it. I think I'm feeling this one. But
So it was like all tequila, just a dash of sunrise.
yeah, exactly. It's like, it was like this much tequila,
Yeah.
and then this little splash.
Holy shit, bro! Really?
The first one, yeah, dude. The first one I put this much tequila on both of ours, and then put a little bit of orange juice and a little splash of grenadine.
And apparently, there's cops all over this neighborhood looking for people drinking and driving because it's the holiday season. So
Luckily, I live here. Best of luck, man.
I might sleep in your backyard.
Hey, you might end up sleeping with
The trampoline looks comfortable.
Joe Exotic.
We'll see.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, so yeah, going back to our conversation, yeah, I think I'll do it, dude. I mean, I don't see why not. For sure, next Sunday. I was trying to think what else is going on, but I don't think I have anything next Sunday. I mean,
Okay.
if anything else, if anything, my kids.
Are done with all the band shit.
Yeah, I mean, in any case, like today, so my kid has a soccer game right now at this time. But unfortunately, we told her coach, we explained to her, she can't go to soccer at this time because she's got her orchestra practice.
Yeah.
So while it was going to be one of those days where my wife was going to say, "Hey, I'm gonna make breakfast for you," because I'm usually the one that cooks. She said, "No, I'm gonna make breakfast. I'm gonna make this and that." And I was so excited.
Yeah.
And then her coach texted and said, "Hey, so she's not gonna make the Sunday afternoon game. Would she like to guest play with my other team?"
Oh, so you had to wake up and take her to soccer practice or soccer
Yeah,
game?
she had a game at 10 in the morning, dude. So she had a game last night at 5, and then another one today at 10. But here's the problem with 10. I mean, she's got to be there by 9:15.
Sure.
But it's in Bernie.
Oh, so you got to
So
leave
it's a
at
30-minute drive.
Yeah.
So we got to be out of here by at least 8:45.
Yeah.
Which means I got to be up by 8.
Yep.
8:15.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, it's just enough time to throw on some shorts, throw on a t-shirt, brush my teeth, and let's go.
yeah.
So
Throw on the Zesty or Testy ball cap.
I did. So, you know. Oh, which, by the way, my kid was laughing because, Valero, please don't come after me for this, but
Did you steal gas?
No, I actually put a sticker on one of their gas pumps.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
The one with the
barcode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good man.
I was,
Good man. There you go.
I was
baby.
pumping gas. And while I'm waiting, I put my hand in my pocket and I'm like, what is this? Because I thought it was trash and I was going to throw it away. And I realized I had
was a
one of our
sticker.
stickers. I'm like,
Yeah.
so I see the gas pump, I see my sticker, and something in my mind says, do it.
Yeah.
And so
Always listen to that voice.
yeah,
Always.
exactly. So I did, just like Nike does, right? And I
Just do it.
slapped that thing on there. So somewhere at the Valero that's at Broadway, almost 410,
Okay.
there's a
We'll get some
one
new
of the pumps
subscribers,
is like,
hopefully.
yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of new subscribers, like when I first bought those stickers, I was going to different Starbucks bathrooms and like sticking it on the air freshener just to see. And we picked up a few. I don't know if it was from the sticker or if it was from something else, but
Yeah.
we picked up a few around that time. We are at 75 subscribers. I'm going to make this declaration right now.
Let's hit 100.
When we hit 100, I will give the 100th subscriber a Zesty or Testy t-shirt. By the way, Zesty or Testy merch is available at stickermule.com.
Sticker Mule?
Sticker Mule. The place that makes our stickers also makes t-shirts. And so you have two different versions. You've got the close to my heart version where the symbol's right here, and you got the full belly version where the symbol's big on the middle of the shirt.
Yeah.
And those are both available for $19.95 at the link below at Sticker
And
Mule.
we got the other one that has the sticker in the back.
Right on the
side of
ass.
that says up your ass.
The one that says juicy on the butt.
Hey!
There's also stickers there. You could buy a 50 pack for $10, I think. It might not be a 50 pack, but it's
Or you
$10.
can just reach out to us. We'll mail you one.
Yeah,
I mean, you're worth the 52 cents.
for the stamp.
How much are stamps nowadays, dude?
I don't know. I haven't bought stamps in forever.
You're worth it.
You're
so
worth
just
it.
let us know.
But anyway, 25 more subscribers. The 25th one, you get a free T-shirt. Whoever you are,
So wait till they get to 99 and then do it.
and then do it.
Yeah. Anyway, did I tell you that a couple of weeks? Yeah, I think I did mention this, right? That I showed our video, our Yorktown video, to some folks.
Mm-hmm. And they all saw the nun.
And they saw, yeah, they did. They saw the nun and they freaked out. And then this week I showed it to someone else and they said, "Dude, that's just freaky."
Yeah.
And for those of you who haven't had a chance to see it, go back and take a look at our Yorktown Hospital video.
Yeah.
And it was pretty freaking awesome. But it's when you see the nun. Did we put the picture of the nun? No, we didn't, right?
Yes, we put the picture of the nun as the only episode that doesn't have a picture of us sitting here at this table, has a picture of the nun as the thumbnail for the video.
Okay.
So if you like scroll on that video and just like do that thing on the phone and make it bigger, then you can see the nun creeping out of the shadow. That I still think is just a shadow, but apparently everybody else that looks at it thinks it's a nun.
Well, and it is a nun.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a shadow, but
is it a shadow of a nun?
Well, I mean,
And it takes the form of the ladies that work there when you show the picture of the ladies that work there.
Well, and that's why I don't show first the picture of the ladies that work there.
You don't want to prime them.
Because I don't want to, it's leading the witness, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just want them to see. I'm like, what do you see there? They're like, oh, it looks like
A nun.
like a shadow, and I'm like, of what? They're like, I don't know. It looks like a person standing there. I'm like,
What kind of person? What does that lady do for a living? Or what does that
well,
shadow
no, and
do
I
for
just
a
say,
living?
I mean, okay, can you describe the person? They're like, oh, it looks like a nun. I'm like,
Like this nun, motherfucker?
yeah, I'm like,
Oh my God! Yes.
they're like, that's my tia.
So yeah,
Anyway.
big things happening for the Zesty or Testy podcast.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of big things, so anyway, so I didn't finish telling you, dude. So yesterday when I was smoking the ribs,
Yes.
I never, ever, ever wrap my ribs. Like I throw them on the smoker, I smoke them for 4.5 hours, smoke the sausage, do all kinds of good stuff.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Cooking with foil is like fucking with a condom on. Yeah, you're doing something, but it could be so much better. Continue.
So it's a good thing?
I prefer to raw dog it, but that's just me.
So you're saying no foil?
I'm saying no foil.
Well, so I've never cooked with foil, dude.
Yeah.
I've never, ever, ever, ever made ribs and wrapped in foil. But I see all these people do
You like it better now with the foil on?
it. Totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the result are two separate results. When I make them just straight, and I put the rub and smoke them, and I spritz them.
What do you spritz them with?
So I make a mixture of oil and vinegar, and then I put salt and onion powder and
Nice.
and garlic powder.
Okay.
So it's 3 to 1 part. So it's 1 part oil, 3 parts
Water.
apple cider vinegar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's apple cider vinegar. So I do 1/4 cup oil, 3/4 cup of
Apple cider vinegar.
apple cider vinegar, and then I
spices to
put
taste.
onion powder, garlic powder, mix it all up, and you can either spritz them, or in my case, because sometimes some of the onion and garlic powder gets stuck in there, I just brush them.
Yeah.
So I'll open the smoker, I'll brush them, and then come back and 30 minutes later brush them again.
Yeah.
I end up brushing them like 3-4 times with that mixture, right?
How often during an hour do you brush them or spritz them?
Twice, because it's every
Twice
30 minutes.
every 30 minutes?
Now here's the deal: I smoke the ribs for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Never touch them.
Okay.
2.5 hours, right? Yeah, about two
At
and a
the
half
beginning?
hours. At the beginning. So I
Okay.
just smoke them for 2.5 hours. After 2.5 hours, then I'll go ahead and open it up, and I'll kind of mop them a little bit with that mixture. Close it.
You don't flip them?
No,
Okay.
no. There's one thing I learned, because I learned that from smoking brisket.
Mm-hmm.
One, brisket takes forever to cook.
Yeah.
Right, to smoke, and the most difficult part of smoking a brisket is that for an amateur, you constantly want to know, well, am I doing it right? And you want to open up. The
Don't do
smoker,
that, 'cause
and
then you let
don't.
all the-
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's you get that variance in temperature, right?
Yeah.
And so you can open up your smoker where you put in your your mesquite or whatever you're smoking
But
with,
not
right?
the lid where the meat
But
is.
not the, yeah, exactly. And so, I yesterday when I was smoking them, I put them in foil for the first time, and the result was just as tasty. It's a little, but different in the sense that they were truly fall off the bone. Like I took out the slab, and I grabbed one of the bones that was sticking out, and I
It just
pulled it
came
out,
out.
and they all came out.
Yeah.
Like nothing else. So I ended up with this slab of just meat,
Nice.
and then it was so tender that I just kind of used my hands to like just
Nice.
pull it apart, right?
Yeah.
And then my kids made sandwiches out of it.
Nice.
and It was really good. Now the other way, when I don't wrap, like I said, this was the first time I
You
wrapped
gotta
them in
cut
foil.
it like a rib and then eat
cut
it like
yeah,
a rib.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I said the end result is a little different. The taste is slightly different, but either way, you're still getting really good smoke.
You don't spritz them when they're in foil though, right?
Mm-mm.
Because you'd have to.
No,
open
so
them.
when they're in foil, so what I did was I smoked them for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
After 2.5 hours, I took them out. I put my mixture, right? The mopping mixture, whatever.
And
put it
then
on
you
it,
wrapped it in foil.
And then I wrapped them, closed it, and then put them back in there.
That's completely different.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
I thought you were starting with foil from the beginning.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I smoked
You
them.
got to get that char on it
Yeah,
first.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So I smoked them for 2.5 hours before I actually put the foil around them,
So the foil might be better than the spritzing every 30 minutes.
Well, yeah, because it keeps that
A lot more moisture.
that moisture inside, and that's
Yeah.
why when I was done, I opened them up. Man, those bones were sliding right out.
Nice.
A brisket, I won't wrap
Yeah.
in foil whatsoever. I will use butcher paper, or what they call peach paper.
You wrap it in peach paper?
Yeah.
Oh.
And so, but that's not till like the last, like I'll smoke it for like about 12 hours.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 hours, 3 hours, I'll wrap it in butcher paper and then put it back in there.
Do you spritz the brisket?
Never.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Now, if you look at, and I know we're talking about brisket, but stay tuned.
There's
Look,
nothing
we're-
wrong
it's
with
not,
fucking
not a
brisket.
master class here. And
Yes, it is, sir.
Everybody's got their own way of doing it.
But ours is the right way.
I make my own rub.
Yeah.
Like I don't buy rubs. I make my own rub.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a difference of opinion. I've never actually smoked anything the way Franklin's Barbecue does their barbecue. So at Franklin's Barbecue, this guy literally just uses salt and pepper.
Yeah.
That's all he smokes.
No spices, no nothing.
Nothing else. Salt and pepper. Have you ever had their barbecue?
I've never been to
Oh,
Franklin's.
dude. Fucking outstanding, right?
Okay.
It's just, and of course, if you take their master class, you'll see a good.
Oh, they have a class where they teach you to smoke?
Well, so he's got a master class where you can actually look. He teaches you how to pick a good brisket.
That's
you know,
crazy.
What it.
Did you take the class?
So I didn't. One of my cousin's husband took a video of the class and he shared it with me, right? Because I'm too cheap to actually pay $150 for
That
it.
sounds like you.
And so he sent me the video. I saw it and I was like, shit. But I've never actually. And one of these days, I'm going to take a brisket and I'm going to just put salt and pepper and I'm going to smoke it and I'm going to see how it comes out.
I'm still saying we need to do a YouTube live where we just sit here and smoke all
No,
day.
I do agree with you because I would love that.
Yeah.
But I think if you just put salt and pepper, really would give the meat the flavor. It's not just the rub; it's the wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether you use cherry, whether you use applewood, whether you use mesquite, what you use,
I prefer mesquite.
You can use some oak,
I've never had it with oak.
So, it's that post oak that they call it.
Sure.
Now, the only time I've ever used cherry wood was I made some pork loin because they say pork or chicken is good with cherry wood.
Okay.
And so I made some pork loin and, I used the cherry wood. It was really good. Unfortunately, I'm not going to go into detail, but that day that I made the pork loin, I had a bad personal experience.
Oh, shit.
And so
Now you associate pork loin with this bad experience.
Well,
you got PTSD
so
from
I
the
won't
fucking...
make pork loin, dude. It really, it's, now, yesterday, for example, because I was tired, I made the ribs, but when I make brisket, I make my own barbecue sauce too.
Yeah.
And my kids, the first time I made it, I found a recipe for a Dr. Pepper, a Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
And so I tried it,
I've seen
and
that before.
my kids absolutely loved it.
Very sweet.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
but it was so good. Well, yeah, but you use a little cayenne also.
Oh, shit.
So you get a little sweet and spicy.
Yeah, nice.
Good stuff, man. So, anyway.
Nice.
But yeah, you're
All
right.
right.
Something that we should, consider, I guess, one of these days. Anyway.
Next year, we got a lot of shit going on this year. Because we've got like a couple big things coming up this week, and then we still need to do the end of year review and memes. That's coming up. We don't have a meme for November yet, but once that hits, I'll be ready to go with that
So
one.
you got memes for all of them?
I got memes for all the way to October. We just need a meme for November, and we got the year in review and memes. And we won't do one in December because we'll do it in December.
Not that I want to go back to this, but you know what we never followed up on? Our weight loss, dude.
So here's the problem. The app I have is on that tablet that we're recording on. So now that we're recording on my tablet instead of your tablet, I don't have, unless you want to put your app on your tablet, and I can send you a link to the app, and then we'll do the weight loss. Well, not with the Tiger King. Well, probably with the Tiger King because
No, I was just thinking about it. We don't need to go. Hey, we don't need to go. Nobody needs to
you
weigh
didn't-
each other.
You didn't.
Nobody
fall
needs
in
to
love.
be good.
Like that week that you told me, I was like fucking good, and then like that Sunday, I was like, oh motherfucker, I'm skinny as fuck, and then we didn't do it that Sunday, so then I just started eating like shit again.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, since that day, I think I've probably lost about a good 17 pounds.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man.
Congratulations.
Trying to do what I can. And the way I know it is because yesterday I was cooking
Everything.
and I was doing something and I told my wife, hey, pick up my shorts, pick up my shorts. She goes,
Oh,
"Am I-"
because they're falling off your
and
ass.
she goes, my hands are full of soap because she was washing something. I'm like,
Yeah.
mine are full of grease, pick up my shorts.
Yeah.
Especially because my daughter had a friend over. I'm like, I don't need
Your ass
to
cracking
have a
short.
friend, you know. It's like, pick up my shorts before my chonas start, you know.
That's the other bad thing about having teenagers. There's always kids at your fucking house. Fucking, I like to.
But I love that.
Do you?
I do. And
Well,
I'm gonna tell you-
because your kids are not somewhere else where you can't watch them.
Yes, but
Yeah.
that is the second point. I'm going to tell you what the best point is. So
Go ahead.
having two girls, you've got three.
Pray for us, please.
Yes, lots of prayers. But the best part about it is every time they invite friends, it's girls, right?
Okay.
To stay over.
Yeah.
And so I have that perfect excuse that, hey, her friends are over. I'm just going to go to our bedroom.
Yeah.
And so I just
So you
go
could be
in
an
there.
extra introvert.
Yeah. So I was like, cool. And then I call my little one. I'm like, hey, can you make me a cup of coffee? And she's like, Dad. I'm like, you know, the girls are downstairs. Come on. And she's like-
Okay, Dad.
I'm like, okay. So, dude, I love that. That's why I said there's...
Well, I got the opposite problem because for a while it was a bunch of girls coming and like spending the night and shit. But now my two oldest have boyfriends, and so now it's their fucking boyfriends over. Like
Your wife has a boyfriend?
No.
Oh.
I'm my wife's boyfriend.
Oh, okay. Got it.
My two oldest kids have boyfriends, so like those fucking boys are always at my damn house. And like,
My little one has been asking about boys.
yeah,
Not excited about that shit.
it's a natural part of life, kid.
It
You
is,
have to
man.
fucking
It
deal with
is. I've been avoiding it.
You can
and-
always show up with your shotgun in your hand, like, oh, hey, this is just the day I'm cleaning my shotgun. It has nothing to do with you being here.
I
I'm
told
just
you-
oiling it up. just
I
trying to
think I
make
may
sure-
have shared this story at the beginning of our podcast, and not today, but just one of the first podcasts
Back in the day.
back in the day, back a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
One of a friend of mine was sharing a story about how a friend of his dad's had three girls like yourself and
Yeah.
two like mine, and boy came over to pick up his daughter,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this man was just walking out, and this young boy says, hey, Mr. Blair, my name is Tony, and nice to meet you. And you're like, hey, nice to meet you, Tony. And so in this case, right, the dad, he tells the little boy, hey, heads up. And he tosses him something at him, and the little boy catches,
Yeah.
right? And it's a shotgun shell, right? And the dad says, hey, take care of my girl, okay? Because the next one's coming a lot faster.
Ah, that's a good line.
you like that?
That's a good line.
I was like,
never
dude,
used
ever
that
since
line.
I heard that, I was
That's
like,
a good line. That's a good line.
but coming from the girl dad, I mean,
Yeah.
shit,
That's a good line.
Yeah.
So my oldest kid's dating a Mormon kid, so like their family is like super strict.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no concerns about them because like he's like a super well behaved kid. I know they're not gonna mess
He's a
around
good
and do
kid,
anything.
dude.
He's a good kid. The middle kid,
And you better stay good,
you better stay good.
because I love
Uncle-
his kids.
Uncle Zesty's gonna
Yeah.
throw a shotgun shell at
You
you.
don't want that.
Bro, I loved it when you were at my key stand. I'm like, that's my kid's boyfriend. And you're like, hey, I'm Uncle. I'm the uncle.
Uncle Johnny. So, you know what? Don't piss off Uncle Johnny. Because Dad has to be nice. Uncle Johnny doesn't.
have to be nice. That was good. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. But yeah, I'm not concerned. And then the middle kid is also a good kid. I know his parents, his mom, oh my God, loves my kid. She's like always like, oh, she's so great. She's blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, that's nice. Like, I think like the kid's kind of like not the greatest
Does it
kid.
freak you out whenever other people say your kids are great? You're like, not in my house. No, wait, hold on. Those aren't my kids, right?
My kids are actually usually pretty good at home too. So like,
Not mine.
yeah, they're only good in public.
Other people's houses.
That's only when it counts in public,
that's
so
true.
it doesn't matter.
Did you say yes? Thank you. Excuse me. Did you like not burp?
Yeah. No, I burp. I'm the. They fucking come out. I'm like not even trying it. There's blah.
So
It's like,
I'll tell you
oh
a funny
fuck, where'd
story,
that
dude.
come from?
You know, speaking of, and I hope my kids never do this shit, but yesterday we were leaving a soccer game. And you know how the traffic's been on I-10 and 1604?
Yeah.
It's a fucking mess. So as we're driving out to Bernie, we're going, of course, westbound, right? And the eastbound traffic right on I-10 before you hit 1604,
Yeah.
right, is ridiculous. I mean, it's backed up to Fair Oaks Ranch.
Yeah.
That's how far it is, right?
Yeah.
And so after the game, I told my wife, I said, there's no fucking way I'm taking I-10 back.
Yeah.
So I was talking to some of the parents that were there, and they said, oh, we're going to take 46 back. So I told my wife, let's take 46 back. We'll grab Blanco, and then we'll go, inside. We're on 46, and we come up to, I think there's a gas station right at where Fair Oaks is. And there's this, one of those 15-passenger vans, those, whatever they're called.
Charter buses.
Yeah, but it's a van, right? And
Yeah.
these kids are getting out of, and I know it's a little late for homecomings, but maybe some schools have homecomings this late, I don't know. The point is, they're coming out of the bus, and these girls and these boys are dressed pretty nice, they're dressed to the nines, as they say, and I'm driving, so I can't really see, and it's dark, and then my wife goes, oh my God, wait, is that girl really... Oh my God, that girl just squatted to pee. Like, dude,
What the fuck?
they're at a gas
What
station.
the fuck?
They're at a
What
gas
the
station.
fuck?
She comes out of the bus, and mind you, the bus is parked, away from the gas station because of the size of the bus, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't park in front of the gas station, so it's
Yeah.
parked alongside closer to the sidewalk. And these kids are coming out, but they're all these
They're all dressed very
dressed
nicely.
very nicely. And my wife goes, oh my God, this girl is just being, I'm like, what? She goes, yes, that girl right there. And then she's like, look. And then of course, my wife goes into, look. And then she's like, no, don't look, you perv. And I'm like, and my daughter in the back is cracking up because she's like, Mom, you keep saying look, and then you're calling Dad a pervy. I'm like, I'm not trying to look at the girl.
I can't even see anything.
The truth is, I couldn't
Yeah.
because it's dark and I'm blind. But I could not believe that shit, dude. I was like, wow.
Sometimes you gotta pee, but like fucking find a tree or a bush or something. Don't just like fucking squat in public view.
Yeah, that is true. Now, I do have I didn't want to tell my kids that, and my kids don't watch our podcast, but, I had an experience. We were leaving a Manak concert in South Padre.
Yeah.
It was myself, my cousin, and a couple of our friends.
Yeah.
And I remember we left the concert, and my cousin's friend says, I gotta pee. I'm like, well, we're gonna go somewhere. And she's like, no, I gotta pee right now. And right there, she goes, Johnny, just cover me. I'm like, what? She goes, just cover me.
Oh, you had to block
right
it?
between two cars. No,
Yeah.
dude, I couldn't cover her that much. Right between two cars.
Yeah.
She's like,
Nasty.
I was like, ow. So that's kind of what happened yesterday. I could not believe that shit was going on. Because these are high school kids.
Yeah, and they're just popping a squat.
Mm.
My favorite pissing story is when I grew up in the Rio Grande Valley, and we used to cross the Reynosa all the time. And you only have to be as tall as the bar to drink. So I was like 15-year-olds getting fucking trashed off my ass coming back across the border. This is before Mexico broke down and you get your head cut off by a cartel member now. But back then it was safe.
Oh, yeah.
So we used to go to this club called La Concha because you paid $7 to cover and then you could drink all fucking night. So I was trashed. And like we left the club and I had to piss. So in my mind, I went way in a secluded area and found like a nice little garden bed, plant bed. And I pissed in that little plant bed. And my friends are like, what are you doing? I'm like, bro, I'm almost done. Just let me piss. And then we got in the car and left. And he's like, why'd you do that? I'm like, what the fuck? I was just in a nice little... No, motherfucker. You were in front of the whole club with the line lining up to get into the club, just pissing in the garden bed in the front of the club, in front of everybody. I'm like, what? No, I went way somewhere else. And they're like, no, you didn't. You fucking idiot. I'm like, all right. Well, good thing I didn't get arrested. Let's go home. Let's go back to the United States.
Now everybody's seen my dick.
Nobody saw my dick.
That's hilarious.
That is hilarious. Kids these days. No, I'm glad my kids are not as bad as me. I was a fucking piece of shit as a kid.
I'll drink to that, dude. Do you ever feel like a hypocrite when you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Getting that for my kids for shit
You're
that I
like,
used to
you
do.
should never do that, and you're in your mind, you're thinking,
Or at least
no,
be better about hiding it. At
like
least my parents
you
never
say
found
you
out.
should never do that. In your mind, you're thinking you should never do what I did.
Exactly.
But again, I was a guy,
Yeah. It's different.
and I know
for
it's a
girls.
whole double standard. Oh, if guys can do it, girls can do it.
Not really.
Everything. Not everything. Not that. Don't do it.
I had a 2-story house in Corpus, and my bedroom was right next to like a corner of the outside roof.
Yeah.
So I would crawl out my bedroom window, and I would put one hand on each quarter and kind of lower myself down, and then just kind of like jump off the top of the roof,
Yeah.
and then go get in my car, and then go out and party all night. Push the car back into the driveway, park it, and like come in through a side door.
You know,
Most nights.
I'm fortunate that I had the kind of mom that
Threw you out of the house, told you to go have fun.
she cared, but she trusted me. You know,
Oh.
because I was a good kid.
Good job, man.
Little did she know.
Yeah.
No, but you know, I was very fortunate to have grown up with a mom that I could tell her, I'm like, I'm gonna go do this with my friends, and she's like, just be careful. I'm like, okay.
Good.
But I was also a dick with my sister because I remember my sister coming home late, and you know there were times when I wouldn't go out. So you know, if I felt like if I didn't go out, it shouldn't be fair that my sister got to go out. So she would go out, and then I would hear her like at 1:30 coming home, and my mom was crashed out, and she was supposed to be home at midnight. And then I would purposely do shit to wake my mom up.
Are you finally home? Crash, crash. Oh, I'm just making dinner. It's
So-
just a midnight snack.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm going to tell you the shit I would do. And I'll never forget this, and I may have shared this. I'm old, so I tend to share stories twice. But my sister had this one doll, right?
It was haunted.
It would look like, remember Raggedy Ann and Andy?
Yeah.
Okay, so it looked like Andy.
Oh,
right?
okay.
And so, but at the time, very similarly dressed was Chucky. Remember the movie Chucky? And so, I'll never forget, my sister went out, and it was late at night, and it was past midnight, and my sister wasn't home. And I knew that she was going to go into that closet at the end of the evening, open that closet to grab her whatever to get dressed, right? So or to even put her stuff away. So her closet had sliding doors.
Yeah.
So I go in and I put this doll and I lean it against the hanger.
Allah.
Right? So this little doll is leaning like this because I figured when she opens that door,
It's
that
gonna
thing's
fall
just
out.
gonna fall forward, right? And so it's about 1:30, 1:45, and she walks in, and you know I'm in high school, so at 1:35 I'm still watching TV, right?
Yeah.
So I turn off the TV, and I pretend to be asleep, and my sister walks in. She's like trying to not make any noise, but I can hear that she's making noise. And so she walks into her bedroom, and she made it past my mom's room, so she's in the clear,
Yeah.
and she's getting dressed, and my anxiety starts to kick in because I'm like, why the fuck isn't she opening up her closet? And next thing you know, here comes this giant scream. Huge scream, dude. Like, oh my God. My mom freaking got up.
Oh, shit.
And she's like,
What's going on?
And she's like, so my sister starts yelling at me. She's like, pinche Yan, hijo de tu pinche madre. And she starts like, because she knew it was me that had done this shit.
Is this the sister that thought we had Shaquille O'Neal on
Yeah,
the pod?
that's
Okay.
her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Sorry, Chavalita. But she,
He's not sorry.
No, I'm not. She starts fucking yelling right at me like bloody fucking murder, dude.
Yeah.
And my mom gets up because she knows there's something wrong. So she gets up. She goes, "What's going on? What's going on?" She's half asleep. And my sister's like, "Your freaking son did this and this and this and this." And my mom's about to get mad at me because we woke her up from her sleep. She has to work the following day.
Yeah.
And just as my mom is about to get after me, I asked the right question.
What time were you supposed to be
like,
in?
all right, fine. Oh, I'm sorry. What time is it right now anyway? And my mom goes, I don't know. What time is it? I'm like, oh, it's 1:45. And my mom looks at my sister. She goes, you're just now getting home? And I was like, good night, everybody. Walk away.
Playing 4D chess there.
Yeah. She almost killed me the next day. Like, literally, she almost killed me.
So you told this story back when we didn't have the video podcast, back when we were only doing audio.
Is that right?
No, not this story, but the one I'm about to ask you to share again. Because all those audio ones are gone. You can't even get them anymore.
Okay.
So do you remember in your car you had like 1 foot hanging out the door?
Yeah.
Tell that story again. Because it's not available on video. It's only available on audio.
So let me take you back to 1988. No, actually, it was like 1991 or so.
Yeah.
So we were at a club. Club closes at 2 in. So we leave the club.
This is in Mexico, right?
This is in Mexico, in El Laredo. We leave the club, go across the border. Or, excuse me, we were in Mexico. We leave the club, and then after the club, we went and got some tacos at this place called Tacos de Caballo, right?
Yeah.
Because they were horse meat. Actually, they weren't,
It
but
was
everybody
already
claimed
horse
it was. For all I care, it was, but it was delicious.
Yeah.
Dude. And besides, at 2:30 in the morning when you're drunk, it tasted
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
So we go there, we hang out, and then my buddies want to continue drinking, so we go drink. We said, where do we go? Everything's closed. By this time it's like 2:45. Let's go to Boys Town.
Oh shit.
So we go to Boys Town. We end up drinking there because at Boys Town you can drink till the sun comes up, right?
Yeah.
And of course we left, and it was like 4:35 in the morning. We're driving back to Laredo, and I've got this car that's, I don't know if you remember this. It's a Merkur. It's a German Ford. It's made by Ford. It's a Merkur XR4 Ti.
Yeah.
Very. It's one of those cars that you just.
Not many of those cars.
Not many of those cars. There's probably there was like 6 of them in Laredo, and they were all. One was black, one was gray, one was white with a spoiler, which was mine.
Mm-hmm.
One was gray, and so on and so forth. Right. So, easily identifiable vehicle. And so, as we're driving down, I think it's called Avenida Mexico or something like that in Laredo, I get pulled over. And I pull over, I do the right thing, but I'm like, I'm fucked beyond, whatever. And I'm with 3 of my buddies, and so I step out of the car, right? And the officer goes, you realize you were going at a high rate of speed. And of course, me being the smart ass that I am, and knowing that they don't have radars, right? I'm like, so how fast was I going?
Yeah.
He goes, well, you were going above the speed limit. I'm like, so can you tell me how fast I was going? He goes, well, we're going to have to take you guys back into the delegación or whatever. And I'm like, no, dude, I don't know. Hold on. Slow down there. Slow your roll. So I told him, I said, is there anything we can do? Because I really got to get back. I didn't want to bribe him. I was just asking, what can we do to take care of business
Usually
here?
you can bribe them.
Yeah. And he said, well, we would have to take your car back in, but, the fine is going to be this much. I'm like, well, give me a second, right? So I go back into the car, and the car's on all this time, right? And I sit inside my car, and I told my buddy, I'm like, hey, dude, give me some cash. And he goes, for what? I said,
I got to bribe the cop.
I got to bribe the cop. And I didn't have any cash. And he's like, nah, dude, let's go. I'm like, motherfucker, I said, just give me $20, right? And he's like, dude, I dare you. And I'm like, motherfucker, no, I'm not. Just give me $20. Give me some money. One of you fuckers give me some money, right?
Yeah.
And this was in the early 90s, dude. So $10, $15 would have gone a long way.
Yeah,
right?
That's a good chunk of change.
And so I'm like, give me some money. And then here comes that one fucking asshole friend that says, dude, I thought this car was supposed to be fast. I'm like, it is fast. Give me the $10. He goes, you seriously don't think you can go? Now, mind you, during those days, cops had Volkswagen Beetles, right, in Mexico. And he goes, you don't think you can outrun a Beetle? I'm like, yeah, I can. Just give me the money. And he goes, dude, your car's on. Put your foot inside, put it on first, and take off. I'm like, okay. And so, fucking moron that I am, I put my foot inside, put the clutch in, put it in first, and I bolt.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? I found out my car is faster than their cars. Mm-hmm. My car's not faster than two-way radio. And so I'm hauling ass down this road, right? And this fucking cop, I see him like in my rearview mirror, the little that I can see because I'm half drunk, right? And at this point, I'm sober real quick.
Yeah.
All I remember was he got in his car. I'm going down this road, passing the what's the train station, past the train station. Now, once you get close to the border, you make this right turn, and that I did not know becomes federal roads and highways.
Yeah.
It's no longer like just city, right?
Yeah.
So I'm hauling ass down, and right as I'm taking a turn, a fucking cop is coming out of there too.
Yeah.
So now I've
Is
got
the lights on?
well, when I turned, he did turn on his lights.
Yeah.
So I've got the guy behind me following me. I got this guy coming out of over here, seeing that I'm going at a high rate of speed, turns on his lights. So now I've got two cops following me, right? And I'm shitting egg rolls. Dude.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. So it could have been two, maybe three. Like I said, I don't remember. All I know is there was definitely two cops following me. And as we're going into Laredo, there was a little bit of a line going into the U.S.
Yeah.
where you had to pay the toll to get into the U.S.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no fucking way. We're fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my buddy's like, dude, go through here. So there's an area on bridge number 1 in Laredo, which is used, or now it's used for people to go get their permits to travel into Mexico.
Yeah.
At the time, it was also used for that. It was a lot smaller, but there was this one road that would take you straight out of the bridge onto that Avenida Mexico. And so my buddy's like, dude, just go down that road. I'm like, that's a one-way.
Yeah.
He goes, there's no cars. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to go down that road. And he's like, they're going to fuck us otherwise. So what does Johnny do?
Goes the wrong way down the road.
Yep. Dude, I went down that road, and we managed to get into the U.S. Now, there's two ways. So you got two lanes going into the U.S., 2 lanes going into Mexico. Fortunately, it's 4:30 or 5:30 in the morning. Not a lot of traffic.
Nobody's going into Mexico.
Nobody's going into. Well, not a lot of cars.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm driving on a fucking one-way on
Yeah.
that bridge
Yeah.
into the U.S. And when we get to the U.S., of course, U.S. officers, immigration officers, or customs officers, they see this car going on a one-way.
Yeah.
And all I remember was being greeted to the United States, like, by officers pulling their guns on
Yeah,
us.
exactly.
Dude, I was shooting egg rolls, and I just remember from the back seat, my buddy going, hey, dude, just tell them that we were afraid, and they were going to take our car, and they were threatening us. Just don't say anything. Everybody stick to that story, right? And so they got us out of the car. They took us into an interrogation room, and they asked us, and fortunately, we all stuck to our story that we were afraid, and you know, all we were doing was just 4 young boys, you know, having fun in Mexico, being scared by the fucking
The
police.
mean federales, yeah.
Oh yeah, and I never told my mom that. So it was a buddy of mine's dad who came and picked us up.
So what? So they wouldn't let you drive home, but they let your friend's dad come and get you,
Yeah,
and they didn't charge you with anything.
Nothing.
Drunk driving down the wrong way
dude,
or
they
one way.
could have charged you. They could have. In fact, the right thing for them to have done now, knowing what I know now, would be for them to turn us over to Laredo Police Department.
Oh,
And then let Laredo Police Department do whatever they do, and then get us for either DWIs or, you know, public intoxication, whatever you want.
Yeah.
But they said, do you have somebody that can pick you up? And I was sure as hell was not going to call my mom. Because if I have to call my mom, right now you and I would not be having this conversation.
You'd be dead.
And people
I would have never met you.
People would be celebrating my life on Dia de los Muertos. You know?
Put an offering.
Yeah, it's like, remember Johnny? He was such a nice guy. Remember that day that his life ended when he crossed the bridge and called his mom? So my buddy called his dad, and his dad came and picked us both up. And, you know, we finally were able to, like, get out. So my car stayed on the side. I don't even know where my car ended up, dude. But the next day we were able to come back and get my car.
Yeah.
But I was scared shitless, dude.
You still did the right thing because it's always better to go to jail in the United States than it is to go to jail in Mexico.
Look, dude, if I would have gone to jail in Mexico, there's a good chance I would have never seen my car again.
Yeah.
Especially, well, and maybe I would have because, like I said, it was such a
Piece of shit car. They wouldn't
it was
resell
a
it.
piece of shit car.
No
but-
resale value.
No, it was a piece of shit car, but it was so easily identifiable that everybody would have known. Oh, that's Johnny's stolen car, right?
Yeah. But what are you gonna do with Johnny's stolen car? He's like, oh, there goes my old car.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about it?
Hey, glad you like it, Julio.
Hey, remember the clutch sticks in second gear?
Yeah. So yeah, that was my story. And just like that, dude, I've got so many of them. But that was by far,
A scary experience.
it's, you know, in hindsight, it was very stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was, now that I can share it, you know, it's funny.
It's funny now.
Yeah.
And it probably worked out better. It probably worked out better dealing with the American authorities and the Mexican authorities.
So that story was like when I got my tattoo. My mom did not find out anything until years later. She's like, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, remember that one time?" And she's like, "No." I'm like, "Well, so and so's dad came and picked us up," and she's like, "What? So he knew about it?" I'm like, "Well, I told him you knew about it, but you just couldn't." So anyway,
You just knew about it?
I made it.
When you get the tattoo?
Oh, this was, dude, 20 years ago.
Like the same
30
day or something?
No. This was, what I'm saying is, I never told my mom that
Oh.
I had it. I never told anybody in my family because my family doesn't like tattoos.
Oh.
And so.
So
when
those
they-
are just two different things that you
yeah,
never told your mom about.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like we were in Acapulco when my brother-in-law goes, "What's that on your?"
You're swimming and you
What's
have
that on
the
your back?
fucking-
And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "What's that on your back?" I said, it's just I
Stick
don't
on.
think it's anything." And he goes, "Turn around." I'm like, "No, it's nothing." And he goes, "Turn around." And you know, my brother-in-law was like a father figure to me, so I'm like, "Fuck." So I turn around. He goes, "When'd you get that?" I'm like, "A long time ago." He goes, "That looks pretty fresh." I'm like, 2 weeks ago. We were in Acapulco, and my sister goes, "Does mom know about it?" I'm like, "No, nobody knew about it till you guys."
Well, remember when you put Chucky in my closet? I'm
Yeah.
going to tell mom
Well, that was
right now.
no, that was my other sister, my oldest sister. I'm like, anyway,
That's a good place to end the podcast.
yeah.
Unless you got closing thoughts.
Nothing. Stay in school. Don't do drugs.
Don't
be
drive
s-
the one way running away from
yeah,
Mexican
don't try-
authorities.
Yeah, exactly. I got away with it. I was lucky. It's not
He
going to happen.
rolled the
to you.
dice and he came up aces. Not
Yeah,
aces,
I used up
sevens.
All,
He
I
came
used
up
up all my
sevens.
luck that day, so don't go fucking around in Mexico, especially nowadays.
It's a
yeah.
lot worse now.
Yeah, exactly. So we will talk next week. Oh, Friday, hopefully,
Friday, hopefully.
and then
Check your YouTube. We might be doing live Mike Tyson fight.
and we might be talking to
the Tiger King,
Joe
Exotic.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right,
We'll
folks,
find out.
We'll talk next week.
Stay
Take care.
tuned.
Salud.
Cheers. Delicious, delicious tequila sunrises. Hey, he did it eventually.